Rich Haws finished his Aggie basketball career with 1,255 points, sixth most in school history at that time. And he played before freshmen were eligible and before the shot clock and three-point play were implemented. He helped the Aggies to a 53-26 record and an NCAA bid in 1975. In 79 career games, Rich Haws scored in double figures 66 times and led the Aggies in scoring as a senior, scoring 20.9 points a game.
The hero at the time was a fellow by the name of Wayne Estes. A dream of mine was to come to Utah State, but at the time I was being pretty heavily recruited by BYU. I'd actually had dinner the night before with Stan and his team, taking us out to dinner, and had pre-delivered to me my letter of intent that was to be signed and had it underneath my bed, and they were to come pick it up. And little did I know that at 7 o'clock in the morning, a knock came on my door, and it was Dutch Belknap. My father had called Dutch and said, by the way, BYU's been here at our house, and he said, I would like to see my son be up at Utah State. Is there any way that maybe you could beat them here? When Dutch showed up that morning, we had that visit. That was magical. One of my favorite memories of being recruited by Utah State was with Liddell Anderson. Liddell was a great golfer, and I still remember he actually drove the green on number 18 up here at the Logan Country Club and beat me. He wasn't recruiting me very hard, I don't think, at the time. The game was a lot different back then. And so the idea of freshmen being able to play wasn't even a thought at the time. The shot clock wasn't introduced until, 1985? The three-point line, which I think I would have had a third more points had that existed. That didn't come into play until 1986. So it was a different game that we played. Yeah, the game at that time, when even without the shot clock, we all loved to run. And the fans loved to see a fast game. They were a little bit more ball control type coaches, which was really fun to play. When Dutch came along and he became our coach, it was more freestyle. And then he opened up the game a lot. And of course, the fun year for us was the last year. It was my senior year, which was in '75. And that was our best team. So at that time, we were able to play all of our in-state opponents, both home and away, which was the treat. To be able to play, even Weber State, to go back to my own hometown in Ogden, to be able to go play. And I remember some really tight games that we were able to play, but to play them all home and away. And we had, I'm not exactly sure of the record, but I know it was a winning record against BYU, Weber State, and Utah, to play them home and away. And I can still remember the experience of playing with our fans here at the Spectrum. It was just amazing because we had come from just a smaller environment, and to have that place full and to have that home and away experience was just incredible. It was an exciting time. We're really close. Jimmy Moore and I were really good friends. I had a real healthy respect from his background and where he came from Mississippi. So the end of that would be the end of our last year, 1975. Was a great run. I think the team had finally come together. We went on a pretty good run and felt the cohesiveness of both the team as well as just the momentum and the energy that was there. I can still remember it here many years later, yeah. Well, back at that time, playing in the Spectrum it was magic. There was an energy that was in the Spectrum and with the students as well as the fans. I still come back, just even when we came for Stu Morrill's signing of the floor and doing that here just a few weeks ago, there were people that I saw that I hadn't seen for 30 years. That still remembered me and that team that was here. There was an energy, there was a fan base, local as well as with the students, that was really, I think, pretty unique for the time. One that I remember, which I'm grateful to Coach Belknap for, was going over to Hawaii and playing in the All-Star game. And my first opportunity to play over there and guard at that time, David Thompson, who was Player of the Year there with NC State. And at the time was just an amazing individual, and I held him to 35 points. So we actually went on to win against Boise State in 35 points. I do remember it. Just, it's interesting, this many years later, the hoop was that big. It felt like the basket was twice the size that it was. A fun night, and it felt like everything that I shot up went in, and there was great energy in the Spectrum that was here. that happened, and so it was a fun evening. So my undergraduate degree, when I finished, was actually in computer science. And back in those days, to do computers, this is a lot different than computers today. I say it's a handicap to me now, because we actually had to type up on an IBM keyboard punch cards that you'd put in a shoebox, take it over to the card reader room, have them read it, and then come back the next day to find out if it was right or if the program ran or not. I graduated with a master's degree in economics, and I used that opportunity to actually go into the field of finance, and opened up doors for me here in Utah and across the United States that really propelled my career. Yeah, the life of a student here was unique for me because I had family here in Logan. And so while I had to spend my first year at the dorms with the rest of the team, I was able to spend the next 3 years really living with family here in Logan and being embraced by the community and being part of Logan. My student experience couldn't have happened any better for me. It was a real positive experience here. And then after leaving Logan, I will tell you that those people that have followed us here that were boosters and were opened up so many doors. And what I've been able to accomplish, even in the real estate and now with our nonprofit foundation that we do, a lot of it still comes back to the stories back here in Logan.